Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Prompting with AI 101 workshop, brought to you by Student Reader and Dowgen. Today we're going to be announcing the Dowgen's new app, which allows you to build AI avatar characters and win prizes as part of the community. So let me quickly just take you through what we're launching, and then I'm going to hand it over to Laura, who's going to do some basic AI prompting 101 tutorials that you'll be able to use to build your own character in the Dowgen. So this is the page here. We'd love you to join our AI enthusiast community and build your own avatar characters. So here we have examples of the avatar characters you can build. These are ones that are already in the game today. And the game we're running right now is called the Great Miami Crypto Heist. So you can still get in the game, you can build your character and be part of the Great Miami Crypto Heist adventure. When you build your character, we give you a really cool page that you can share with your friends, share on Twitter. And what we'll be doing next is allowing you to mint NFTs as your characters that you can go and play in other games. So this is an example of the character page. What you're doing is you're building a very rich and deep character with an entire backstory. And by going through our Prompting 101 tutorials, we help you create an avatar character backstory that you can then use with generative AI to talk to your character, to put your character in stories, to put your character in videos and games. So this is just one example of a character. This one's my character, DJ Squircle. His backstory is pretty funny. He's a long-lost, distant cousin of Baby Yoda. He's also an escaped AI. And what you create also is character dialogue. So you have examples of how your character talks, its personality, the kinds of things your character says. You put your character in a narrative scene. And so what this then gives you is enough of a character profile that you can then put it into any generative AI narrative storyline, and it'll be able to create video clips, put your character in the story. So I like to say the future of media is inclusive. We've heard that the future of media is interactive, it might be immersive, but I really think it's inclusive. With the power of generative AI, you'll be able to take your character and just have it be in this dynamic world that you're in the story directly. So let me show you next the other part of our community, which is prompting discussions. So we'll be posting lots of different prompting tips and tricks, and you'll be able to go in, review them, comment on them, post your own tips and tricks and things of that nature. So we're excited to launch this, make it available here. This is exclusive live announcement here at NFT Las Vegas. And we hope you'll go in and create characters, give us feedback, and participate in our weekly character building competitions. With that, let me hand it over to Laura. Laura's going to take us through some actual prompting workshops, so I'll drive the computer.
Perfect. Do you want to go to... Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura. I'm usually Laura Bergioni from Student Reader, founder of Student Reader, but today I'm actually Luna Vega from Dowgen. Luna Vega, can you go to my character real quick? Yeah. So we're going to show you my character, which is Luna Vega. There you go. So this is who I am today, Luna Vega. I'm fierce, I like hip hop, I am a boxer, and my job is to help tackle whatever adventure DJ Squircle gets into. So as Luna Vega today, I'm going to give you some prompting tips that I've learned. I'm not a master at Midjourney. I don't claim to be a master, but along the way I've learned a lot of things. Here we go.
So what we're going to take you through is a blog post that we're publishing after this event, which is our learning lab at Student Reader for basic prompting. So this is really meant to be introductory, getting new people that are maybe curious about AI, who have never even heard of Web3, to build a character, and then when they build a character, we're going to give them their character as an NFT. So what we're really trying to do here is make a new way to bring people into our world, our Web3 world, by capturing the interest and excitement that's going on in the generative AI world. So sign up for our Substack where you'll be able to get these prompting tips as we produce them.
So just kind of going through the blog, I help you set up your Midjourney account. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Midjourney. I'm sure you've all used it or played around with it. So that's our section 1, is actually setting up your account. Section 2 of the blog shows us before you begin prompting, like what's important to know. And the most important thing is prompts can be simple. A lot of people get really descriptive, and Midjourney or the bots don't really look at the full prompt. They tend to pick pieces of it. So having less of a description with just really accurate descriptions of what you want are really helpful. It doesn't need to be long. The details that matter in prompts are the subject, what you want to create, whether it's a person, an animal, a scene. You want to be specific on what kind of view you want. We're going to focus on characters right now. So for characters, you want a full body view. You want to be able to get the full view of your character. And most important, what I've learned is if your character's limbs aren't touching, it's easier to manipulate. So you can go into Photoshop and use the puppet mode, and you can actually move your character around. And you can see that in our student reader Monkey. I've actually done that with him. But yeah, you don't want to have their limbs touching. You want a body stance, like an A stance, where their arms are on their side, legs are kind of spread apart. You want to...
Is there a specific name for that kind of stance that you would put in the prompt?
It's an A stance. So you want an A stance with limbs not touching. Yes, exactly. You want to be specific on what kind of style you want. For my characters, I use hyperrealism that makes them look like even more real than real. It makes them really polished. Background, what I've also learned is the background, you want it to be white. That way you can manipulate your characters and you don't have to worry about the background. But there's also tools that you can remove the background. So that we'll have those tips and tricks on another blog. And then the composition for us is portrait. For me, I want to have a portrait as well as a full body. You want to focus on the face shots too. So portrait will kind of highlight the facial features. And then aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is the proportional relationship between an image height and width. So my go-to is AR3:2, which is the common print photography style. And when you're starting your prompts, I like to be really, I like to have an image in my head and kind of describe it to Midjourney, but I don't get into too much detail because, those bots have a mind of their own and they'll spit out an image. And once that image comes up, then I can see what I need to tweak to make it the character I want, to make it look like what I want. So I try to be not too specific at the beginning and then add more specific qualities to that character. As you can see here with Vito Provolone.
In the audience.
So Vito Provolone is Max. And I tried to, my first prompt wasn't quite getting what I wanted from the image. It gave me somebody who looked, much older. So I kind of tweaked it. And that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't very specific at the beginning, but once the images started to come up, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I want to remove this. And then we got to Vito's character, what he looks like now. And this is him. Unfortunately, Max just cut his hair recently, so it's not as long as it was, but this looks pretty close to what he looked like a couple months ago.
So today we're launching the Midjourney Prompting 101, and what Laura's talking about. We'll be announcing the Character Backstory 101 in a couple of days, and that's how you create the narrative backstory. So Vito Provolone is Max, and if you go on the website, you'll see that his whole backstory is He's this secretive high school student that's got this underground hacker group, and they're coming to the Great Miami Crypto Heist, and they're involved with this shady underground. And so it's so much fun to take the image, sort of blend real life with fictional life, and then put those in stories. So that's where we are finding the community starts to, like, at an individual level, they come into the game, they start to get this connection to the community, to the environment, to the story, because it has aspects of their real life, aspects of their fictional life, and now that character is kind of them, but not them, but they're in this metaphysical world in this adventure.
And now brings us to our student reader monkey. So we were in Costa Rica for a little bit, and there were white-faced monkeys everywhere. So I wanted to bring one home, and unfortunately that's not allowed. So I decided to create my own on Midjourney. And as you can see here, like the images it created are, there's 3 of them that I just was not happy with. But this was the one that, at the end, we got this monkey, which is my student reader white-faced monkey. So things I've learned. When you're in Midjourney in the Discord, it's good to name your image, name your character, so that you can always do a search for it later. You should also email your images that you really like. So I don't know if you're not familiar with Discord. When you're in here, on this top right, there's a reaction. You can add a reaction. And this envelope right here, not the one with the E, the one that doesn't have an E, that emails it to your Discord. So it sends it to you in a private message.
Let's just back up a little bit. Yeah. So we'll just back up a little bit. So what we're looking at here is Discord. And Discord is the way that you interact with Midjourney. It's a very interesting UX choice for Discord to make the way you do it Discord, but in any effect, that's what it is. So Laura's going to maybe give us a little tour of Midjourney in Discord, like how do you use it, and then show us some of the tips and tricks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the Midjourney channel. And you're in the Newbies 101 room. So when you join Midjourney, they assign you to a room, and that's your chat room. So you're actually prompting and seeing the work of other people as you go along with your own work. And so it's kind of already they're setting this vibe of a community experience, right? Which is really nice for projects like ours, where we want to bring that AI enthusiast community into Web3. So in a lot of ways, Midjourney's kind of done us a favor by doing Discord, because people are getting comfortable with sharing their work, giving other artists and creatives support, and we just take that vibe and move it directly into NFTs and tokens and the other really cool things you can do with Web3 technology and communities. So I guess Laura's going to make us a prompt here.
So you start off the prompt with \imagine, very key in order to start your prompting. You put in what you'd like, obviously, what you want to prompt.
What's going on now?
So it's creating the image. We're waiting for the image to be created. But when you're in these channels, you get everybody's image creation as well. You can see what other people are creating. And it's funny, I've learned a lot from just looking at what other people are creating, what their prompts are, what kind of images they're generating. Okay, so this is mine. I did Batman running. I don't know, just anything. It's so hard when you don't have a goal to come in here and start prompting. So I always say, if you don't have like something in mind, don't do it, because then it becomes overwhelming. Like once you have something that you want to create, then go in and start creating.
And that's a pitch for the Student Reader Learning Labs, because we're going to give you specific challenges, create AI avatar characters for Dowagen, win prizes. So you go in there, and this initial round of characters we're doing is 100 characters in the Great Miami Crypto Heist chapter in the Dowagen. So that's enough of a starting point for people to want to come and create characters. Make someone that will be in a futuristic Miami sci-fi novel, and then we'll add them into the whole media library and kit and content we'll be creating out of this DAOGen chapter.
So once your images are created, you can open up the image and look at it in a browser. So you can zoom in, zoom out. You can't really do that on Discord. But from those 4 images that are prompted, you can pick specific ones that you want to focus on. So for this one, I'm going to focus on my second image. So you upscale your image, and then once it's upscaled, you can vary it. You can also pick a spot on the image that you want to remove or change. Unfortunately, with Midjourney, you can't be specific as to what you want to change it to. But that's where other image enhancing tools come in, like Photoshop or Bazaart. Exactly, I've used that a lot. We have. But once you get an image that you really like, I highly recommend going back, emailing it to yourself. So we go back to that envelope. It's going to email it to me, and now it's in a special message. It's my own direct message. I go in there. You can click on that. It was up here. And now it's just on mine. This is my my feed. So only my images are in this. And you can actually create images off of this as well. And no one else can see them. They're just yours. And you're not looking at every other person in there creating images. These are just all my images on this channel. Yeah.
I'm just looking at her work. I haven't seen these before.
So when you email them to yourself on Discord, then you can go to Midjourney, and it captures all the images that you've emailed yourself, which makes it really useful when you're looking for images, when you're trying to find a specific image, and also naming. When I say name your images, so if you go to the search, and then type in Vito, it'll hit enter. On the sidebar, it shows you all the images that have the name Vito on it. So that you can always go back and if you thought, oh, I like this image instead, you can email that to yourself or save it, download it, so it's there for you. But yeah, these are the things I've learned. Like naming your images from the beginning is very useful. Emailing it to yourself in your private DMs, also very useful, very crucial.
Yes.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Show you.
So, sorry.
Like where you say Vito is a 16-year-old boy? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So right here. So Vito, his name is right here. Vito is a 16-year-old boy. So, I mean, you can do searches for anything, but it'll bring up everything that has that in the prompt. So if I say 16-year-old or 16, it's going to bring every image up. So that's why I say name your character from the beginning, so you can always go back and look at the images that you've prompted in the past. I want to know where I'm at. Things I've learned. You want to talk about the DAOGen director? Yeah.
Well, thank you, Laura. That was a very exciting introduction to Midjourney. So again, sign up at Student Reader or DAOGen for our Substack, and you'll get emailed all of our prompting tutorials as we produce them. What we're going to talk about now is the DAOGen director. So you can go in, create characters for yourself to use as we've went through. Now, the DAOGen director is a special kind of role in the DAOGen. These are kind of like movie producers or authors of books. But now we're imagining, what is the future of media going to be with Gen AI? And we think you can be a director of an immersive generative world. And what do directors need? Directors need characters. So a director can come to the DAOGen, pick and choose from all the characters that are there. We're going to incentivize directors to run chapters, as we call them, in DAOGen. And a chapter is just a self-enclosed adventure. It could be a Friday evening gaming session with a bunch of friends. It could be like what we're doing with Chapter 2, The Great Miami Crypto Heist, is we're building a choose your own adventure book out of that we're going to mint with Book.io eventually. But the possibilities are really endless as a Doujin director. We've minted 1.2 billion tokens, Doujin tokens. If you want to run a Doujin chapter, we'll give you 10 million tokens to do that, and you get to keep 1 million of them as a director. And the only rules are distribute them to the players in your chapter somehow. Give them fun quests. Just make it engaging in some way. Partner with other projects to give them, make your players go and play someone else's game and come back and give them a reward for doing that. So it's really meant to just be a lot of fun, get people in, create characters, and then the Doujin director gives them the adventure, sort of takes them on that adventure. One additional piece is in the Doujin with the tokenomics. There's 13 Doujin directors in the circle. And in order to become a Doujin director circle member, you get voted in by the token holders. Once those 13 seats are full, they determine the future direction of the Doujin. So we're bootstrapping it. We're giving 10 million tokens to anyone that wants to be a director to run their story. We're going to help build the platform from doing this. And then as soon as 13 directors are in the governance, they can vote on the future direction of the game. So when you go into Doujin.ai right now and go to the app, you'll see the white paper is there. You can read all about Doujin directors and how you can become one and run your own chapter. And that's the story on the Doujin directors. So we're just announcing this today. We're making it available on the page for the first time today. So thank you very much.